Greetings, Coin-Op Classic. Has the power of music ever uplifted you in your darkest hour? Welcome to Psycho Soldier. It's a mixture of Macross and great action shooting game design that created one of the most unique pre-Neo Geo SNK games I've ever played in my life. Let me just make sure I check my settings to ensure everything is default. Yep, everything looks good there. I'm gonna go ahead and reset real quick in case that affects item RNG. And this will allow me to record an INP in case I want to put this on YouTube. 3, 2, 1, go! I'm gonna be silent for a bit to give it up to our guest star, Kaori Shuzumu, who is the voice actress for Athena. Take it away, Kaori. 'Round of applause for Kaori for her performance as Athena. It's a little muffled with the last verse being hard to understand, but considering SNK had to cram the entire song into less than a megabyte of memory, I think they did a commendable job with the technical achievements here. We Americans did that first with the game based off the band Journey, but we had an external cassette tape hooked up to the game, and it was considerably less impressive because of it. It's a lot like how we did laser discs back then. Did you really think I was going to use the crappy US version and the cover that was sung by the janitor while she was on her bathroom break? I'm gonna play the version up to par with the quality of my run. I hope. You can hear Kaori's unmuffled singing on the cassette version of the song, ripped and preserved on YouTube or other music sites. I highly recommend it for self-motivation. And now, we'll talk a little bit about the game itself. I'd like to dub this game a platform shooter, and this is only one of two I know of off the top of my head. This and Capcom's Sun Sun. The gameplay is a direct ripoff of Capcom's Sun Sun. But it's way more interesting because this was released way later on much more powerful hardware. You control Athena, or her goofy, dorky sidekick Kensu, jumping up and down platforms and avoiding death pits while you're blasting your way through hordes of mutant aliens that have taken over the world and caused an apocalypse from underneath the surface. There are a lot of influences from Macross in here, with pop idols bringing hope to what's otherwise a fairly desolate world. This game features large sprites, it features really janky animations sometimes, and it also features the most bullshit last stage I've ever seen in an SNK game, not counting mechanized attack. Most of this game is fair and well balanced, but the last stage is a complete and absolute meme, and I knew what I was getting into when I submitted this. So my main goal is to try and 1cc, but if I don't make any mistakes leading up to the last stage, I'll be really happy with the way that turns out. Also, Speed Spark. Kensu of Crystallis fame? Funny enough, I've never actually played Crystallis before, but you can probably guess I'm a King of Fighters fan by my name. Now we're fighting on the city streets and entering into the sewer tunnel that'll lead us to the core of the Earth, as the music continues to be fantastic for the year 1987. SNK really were not one for hardware power back before they made the Neo Geo, but they still had lots of wonderful ideas for their games anyway. There's also lots of interesting power-ups and power-downs you need to collect and avoid. Like, we're not picking up the Red Skull from Captain America over there. That is the worst power-up anyone can pick up, bar none, since it flushes all your power levels down the toilet and makes you incapable of killing even the most basic enemies in one shot. The sword is probably the most important backup weapon you can pick up, because it is not just used for breaking blocks, it actually acts as a melee weapon, which is the only holdover from this game's prequel, simply called Athena. Athena itself is a game I do not recommend, but I can 100% recommend this. That down arrow I just picked up is a rank down item. That's very important. That put the game on easy difficulty. Up arrows are even worse to pick up than the skulls, just because of the fact that it brings the game's difficulty level up by 1 rank. And you can tell what rank you are by how many shots it takes to kill enemies. Shall we change? Yes, the Phoenix is awesome. The ultimate power-up transforms you into a Phoenix or a dragon. And now I can actually survive many hits. You get the feeling of being an enormous divine beast just going to town on everything unholy. This game gives you an immensely satisfying feel of power when you pick one of these bad boys up, but it maxes out the rank when you do that. There are downsides to turning into a Phoenix. But, you know, if you want to get through a level lickety-split without worrying too much about losing lives, you can give all your enemies the bird. Why not? Yeah, I'll go into a little bit of detail about my energy bar down there as well. It's acting like a health bar now, but earlier on in the run, it isn't. You die in 1 hit all the time in this game. But your energy bar is the psychic energy that you have built up. You step into the beams of light in order to recharge it, and your power level determines how effective your psycho balls are. The higher your energy gauge, the more effective your special attack is. The special attack plows through bricks and enemies and pierces right through them if they're at a high enough power level. So you want to use them to eliminate dangerous enemies and save them strategically. Yes, there are, Jason. Yes, there are. Like I said, it maxes the rank out. So you actually do, if you're at a low power level, I don't recommend it. If you lose the Phoenix early, say your energy drains, you're going to be left in a bad situation sometimes. That, and you miss out on score items. I should mention how important score is in this game as well, because it is absolutely essential to your survival. You destroy little pods in order to release toy UFOs and balloons, and the longer you leave them on the screen, the higher point value they become. And you get an extra life every 80,000 points after the 60,000 one-up. So, you really want to score as many extra lives as possible for the bullshit last boss. That's the whole reason why they throw so many lives at you in the first place in this game. And it's also why the PSP version was screwed up as well. The PSP version had dip switch settings that don't give you extra every 80k, which that was the default. They fixed that in the SNK 40th anniversary pack though. Would have been cool if I played it through that. But I played it through MAME for convenience's sake. This game is perfectly playable as well. The difference is Sun doesn't have a bullshit last stage. I get to hear the singing one more time, but I'm gonna talk over it this time around. The game was extremely proud of its accomplishment. And now you're seeing what I like so much about this game. The varied environments and the fact that you see new enemies on every single stage. Wait, did I get Comcasted? No way. I did not get Comcasted, did I? I dropped 1% frames, so I guess I'm being Comcasted right now. That's no big deal whatsoever. I reconnected, so it seems like the run is going perfectly fine. These enemies are the dangerous ones. The bull rhinoceros is made out of rocks. You want to kill those as quickly as possible. This is the stage that teaches you how to use your psycho balls effectively. If you do not eliminate them as quickly as possible, they shoot insanely dangerous three-way shots that can easily clip you and kill you. Their hitboxes are as large as they look. Second most dangerous enemies being here are the golems. The golems that take their heads off and throw them at you. There's a glitch with them, by the way. The glitch being that when you shoot their heads, the hitbox stays on the screen way longer than it appears to be. So if you touch the corpse of the head, you die anyway. You can't touch the explosion effect, and it only applies to those enemies and no one else. This game has a bit of jank to it, but it doesn't affect my overall enjoyment of the game. I could say that about a lot of SNK's early projects. So yeah, this level teaches you how to use your Psycho Balls effectively, and it's mostly going to be smooth sailing as long as I'm paying attention. The balls also give you invulnerability frames when... Oh, you son of a bitch! I went down one power level. Oops. You gotta watch out for the power downs. At least that wasn't a red skull I walked into. That's my reminder to pay more attention. The energy-draining red skulls take one power level away when you walk through them, and they do kill you if you have no energy left remaining. Play a drink-free SNK game like Munchmobile, or my favorite one happens to be Sengoku. I really gotta practice Sengoku. No, you don't! Yeah, I saw that. I do not hail Hydra. Fudge off. I fully agreed with what Mr. Energy said. They were full of innovation and good ideas themselves, and they got the whole idea of rotary joysticks from a coffee table. Did I mention that the SNK 40th Anniversary Pack is an absolute treasure trove of knowledge, and one of the best ways to play Bermuda Triangle without fiddling for analog controls for ages? I should have submitted that instead of Dark Adventure. Bermuda Triangle is a real treasure. I'm gonna save that for the next one, or the, what was it called? The Shmup Slam. I'm definitely submitting it to the Shmup Slam if it's not making it into next year's Coin-Op Classic. Anyway, where was I at with Athena and Kensu? The character personalities themselves also make a great deal of why this game was unique compared to other arcade games. Athena herself is a fairly typical maiden of light and a symbol of hope, but I think Kensu needs more attention than he actually got. I wasn't sure whether or not I could actually use Kensu because you're only allowed 1 credit on this marathon. The whole goal is a 1 credit clear. You're technically using 2 credits with Kensu. You have to get player 1 killed off in order to use the second player character, but I love him because he is a guy that wants to be a superhero, but is a dork in actuality. He always fumbles his landings during the stage transitions, and he learned how to play guitar just so he could be cooler. And that's the type of person that we would likely end up being if we tried to emulate superheroes in the real world. That's what I think makes him an excellent character, and that shines even brighter in the King of Fighters series. His ending from King of Fighters Maximum Impact on the Game Boy Advance, or whatever the Game Boy Advance one was, that one was amazing. That's the best game that details Athena and Kensu's relationship. Here's the level we saw on the Attract stage. We have the most difficult jump in the game coming up soon. And for this part, I am not going to be brave. I am going to deliberately be taking a power down in order to save myself the pain of possibly missing and losing a life. I'm okay with losing a bit of energy, but I am going to deliberately take a hit here for the sake of safety. KOF EX2, thank you. The endings were great in that one, and that's the only King of Fighters game I know of that actually has solo character endings. Oh, by the way, the fishmen over here have the jankiest animations if you pick up the up arrow and make them transform. It almost looks like a glitch when you transform the feral fish into real fish. Did I mention that some of the art in this game is a little questionable sometimes? But it's all cool, so I forgive it. Even when you vaporize the fish, those skeleton effects look rather jank. The art, aside from the environments, some of the monster art can be very subpar in this game, but it also adds to the charm of this game as well. They tried so hard, the creativity shines through. And don't you all love a game like that in your lives? I can forgive a lot of jank if the ideas and the gameplay itself is solid, and that's what we've got here. Oh yeah, and that was one of my favorite arcs as well. Kenso actually loses his psychic powers. Here we go, here's the jump. See, there's a power down up here. I'm just gonna eat the power down and lose 2 levels of power. And they started that storyline in the King of Fighters 2002, and they didn't really end that in the King of Fighters 2001. I think he just suddenly gets his powers back because SNK didn't actually develop the 2001 era games. And if you want a good English dub, the Maximum Impact games actually have a slightly better English dub than this. The standards of quality when it came to Japanese to English dubs increased considerably over time as Japanese animation became more mainstream all around the world. This is a weird holdover for when they didn't really give too much a shit about the voice acting outside of Japan, or when SNK didn't think this game was going to do so hot in the United States. Speaking of which, the American box art for the Commodore 64 version of this game also has nothing to do with the Japanese visuals. I think they did that with Athena as well. Instead of portraying her as the pop star she is, they depict her as the proper Greek warrior she was. She's still got her skirt on, she's got her schoolgirl shirt on, but she's got a mullet and she's carrying the Greek Roman sword. The depiction was actually more accurate because they thought, oh, Japanese anime girls ain't going to sell. Nerds. How wrong everyone was. How blissfully wrong everyone was. And now we get to Lethal Lava Land, which has my favorite song outside of the theme song. And there's a statue that shows Athena's ancestor. That statue right there is one of the coolest pieces of art in the game, and they subtly tie this game into the original Athena in that way. I'll give the original Athena this. While it controlled absolute ass, it actually did have very innovative ideas that inspired future role-playing games. It was one of the earliest attempts at making an RPG platformer game, so they scaled the gameplay ambitions back a little bit for favor of creative expression instead. Not every single game out there has to be a blockbuster 10-hour blowout, and this game is living proof of that. They got a little bit less ambitious, and the game plays way better for it. We have one last round of platforming to go through here before the final stage. And here we have a little bit of parallax scrolling going on as well. Avoid the up arrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't feel like getting that egg. That might be death. My last practice run, there were worms inside there instead of the Phoenix egg. Did I mention the amount of RNG in this game? The egg is completely random. Either it gives you your transformation and turns you into your ultimate form, or a bunch of worms pop out of it and then kill you if you don't invulnerability frame right away. You always want to be careful opening those up, and that means there is a very slim chance you'll go through the entire game without seeing the Phoenix once. I suppose the randomity was meant to keep the game more exciting, and it does. I mean, if you want to get the best score in this game, you're not going to be using the Phoenix at all regardless, because you can't pick up the UFO items, and they're worth the most amount of points. So you have a risk and reward scoring system in there as well. There we go, destroy the bull rhinoceros. I think I covered everything that this game is all about. I explained the mechanics good, so... Oh yeah, the infinity symbol. Some of the items that don't do anything at all in single-player mode. They wanted to emphasize the co-op aspect of this game a lot, so you have the flashing circle. No, I'm lucky. Okay, I have no choice but to take it. I was gonna get crushed by the screen scrolling. Okay, we'll take it. But yeah, SNK really wanted to emphasize the co-op nature of this game as well. That's the last thing I haven't talked about. The infinity symbol allows you to swap items if one player is better than the other. So say if Kensu is better at the game but he's running low on resources, pick up the infinity symbol and then you'll swap your energy bars and the amount of psycho balls you have left. Therefore, you know, you can give all your resources to Kensu if he needs them or he's stuck. And that would actually be a really cool idea to expand upon in the future. It's like kind of a haphazard idea because the item itself spawns at random, but if it was in predetermined locations, I think that would make co-op play even better in this one. SNK were not one to shy away from weird ideas, and that would continue into the Neo Geo era with games like The Super Spy. Now, Lord BBH is up next. He's well known for playing The Super Spy. That is probably the weirdest arcade game of all time, and probably the weirdest idea SNK ever had, period. I can't wait for Market of Wolves 2 to come out. And speaking of which, I still gotta try out King of Fighters 15. I'm only used to the Neo Geo ones because that's the kind of fighting game player I am. Which, my Twitch username is KyoKusagani1999, but that is not my favorite King of Fighters game. My actual favorite is the King of Fighters 2000, but I forgot the password to my first Twitch account like an idiot, so I settled for 96 instead, because that's very close to the year I was born. How do you like that? Again, the King of Fighters 2000 is like nearly perfect in my honest opinion. That's going to get a little bit of heads rolling because of the striker system, but you get the most amount of options for combos in that, and since it was SNK's last game before they went bankrupt, they just went crazy referencing their past and bringing back obscure characters from Robo Army and shit like that. Robo Army's a really cool beat 'em up I have to learn as well. That one's a bit more doable than Sengoku Densho is. Gogar over there just destroyed my health bar, but that is okay. He moves at complete random, so I just did a god dodge here. And I'm gonna pound on the fire button as fast as I can until I kill it. Welcome to the memes. Now we can let the memes begin on the last stage. This stage is 100% random whether or not you'll actually 1cc the game or not. I came in here at 9 lives, and if the game hates me, I will lose all of them within the first minute of this stage, when I hit the first luck gate. You'll see the problem pop up 2 more minutes into this level. But up until then, it's just memorization. This level has a lot of cheap traps inside of it, like enemies spawning right in front of you. But it's all memorization. It's all skill. You kill the amoebas because they have tentacles that are really long, and I am not gonna make a stereotypical joke here. Like these right here. These enemies are very dangerous due to how long they stretch out. But you can memorize all this stuff. If you got power level 3, you just make sure you're standing still and you fire off a psycho ball, or you stand at the bottom and walk forward because the pattern's very similar to Light Force. They appear at you in a circle. Iframes, iframes, iframes. That was close, that was close. That was too close. Okay. Do you see the problem here already? Do you see these regenerating tissue walls? Like when a throat opens up? Yeah, about those. They open up and close whenever they just feel like it. There's just no rhyme or reason to their pattern whatsoever. And you have to go through an entire 3 walls of those. 3 walls of absolute luck game. So, after this wave of enemies, you can place your bets here now. Is this run gonna be a success or not? It's just all luck from this point forward. If you're somehow lucky enough to grab Super Psycho Balls and take them all the way to the end of this stage, you can one-shot the last boss, but you're not gonna be that lucky. Oh. Damn, I'm so good at video games. That took so much skill. Oh, there's luck gate number 1. Am I gonna survive luck gate number 2? I'm gonna concentrate on this part. This part, I gotta make sure I'm ready for the traps. This is and here's luck gate number 2. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Am I going to be able to double down and double my money on sportsscam.com? Athena's favorite gambling website, Valve Scams, CounterStrikeScams.com. That's number 2. Okay, it's looking good, but I'm not gonna jinx my, ow! Okay, that was my fault. I accept that because that was my fault and I was laughing too hard. My chances are still looking good if I got past the first luck gate, though. That means that it's not gonna be a guarantee anymore, but seeing as I get my power back in this hall right here, get lost, get lost, get lost! Oh, the iframes, nice. Knowing how the iframes work really saves your ass a lot in this game. Okay, luck gate number 3, let's go. I got 10 lives remaining, so this should be good. Nope, I failed number 3, yep. Yep. So it's not a guarantee anymore, but I do have the bare minimum amount of lives I need to still finish the game. Having 6 pretty much puts you in safety on the last boss. Yeah, that's what I mean by the enemies. I'm being sloppy. No, I have to stop losing lives now. Oops. Okay. But yeah, you're kind of screwed in this game. Notice how my power level is shit now? That's why the luck gates suck so bad in this game. And they're not going to give me another power up for another minute, so I'm stuck with this god-awful power level for the next 5 minutes or so. I have to run up and use the sword and then just die here. Or, you know, get lucky and actually kill the thing with the sword. That works. The sword is the only reliable weapon we can use from here on out. Final luck gate, here we go. I'm gonna destroy all of them at once using a Psycho Ball. And so I'm gonna make a move for it. But I'm dead anyway, there we go. I'm dead anyway. There's nothing you can do about that. The game just rolls a dice and just determines whether or not you live or not. I have researched these things so hard in order to find a pattern, but no. It literally just loads a random hexadecimal value. Isn't there a command on that? I'm a programmer, I should know. Don't you use the rand command on Commodore 64 in order to roll a random number? Well, now we got the last boss, and I got power level 2. The last boss has somewhat of a pattern, but it's also still reliant on luck. It's the first boss of R-Type, only it's way stretchier. Like a giraffe made love to the first boss of R-Type. You sit in the middle over here, and you try to get as many shots as possible in with whatever level you have. And then when it stretches its neck out at you, you use a Psycho Ball to invulnerability yourself. You always want to jump down instead of up when it lunges at you because it goes in a preset pattern. The fireballs are totally random though. I couldn't do much about that. And now here's the strategy. We just sit in front of the boss's heart and hope for the best. That's the strategy. And then however long you live after that is just entirely up to luck. I came in here with 6 lives, so I should be good, but the fireballs can say so otherwise. Yoop. Get myself up here. I can't emphasize enough how taking a death and losing your power level makes this way harder. Like, you have to shoot this thing double the amount of times if you only got shot level 1. It takes 64 shots. 64 shots to kill this thing with power level 1, and only 32 if you have an upgrade. So if you manage to get in here with power level 3, you're very lucky. You can consider yourself eligible to go to Vegas after this. But yeah, SNK would learn better game design after this from this point forward, needless to say. It took them a while, but like I said, they gained experience with every single game they released. The early SNK is, yeah, this is a good symbol for early SNK. Great ideas, great illustrators, great artwork, but occasionally questionable game design. God, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it or not. I'm close, but no. I believe. I have no idea. I'm just gonna hold my breath. Smile, you son of a bitch! Let me show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown! With my last life! 1,664,000 points. And that's why they accepted this. Thank you guys! You did it! Congratulations! It was a hard and painful fight. However, the enemies caused the darkness to the world were defeated by the brave warriors. And the world got back to light now. Listen carefully. You will hear Athena singing for the victory. This fight will be... Hey, that's the least I could ask for, all things considered. I definitely try my best to make my marathon runs memorable. God help me if that wasn't the most clutch ending ever. Goodbye, Athena. That's the proper spelling of goodbye. We of all staffs respect your spirit and skill to have conquered this hard adventure. Thank you. Produced by SNK Electronics Corporation. Thank you, SNK. Thank you, Kiari Shimizu. I'm glad you had such a successful career in the pop star industry.
Bye-bye.
And with that, I get to say goodbye to you guys as well. That was a successful run of Psycho Soldier, and I'm feeling really damn good about myself. Now I'm just gonna have to pay out a massive loan, and we're gonna haul our ass to Vegas in order to become a millionaire. Look at that satisfying game-ending score. Look at how satisfying that is. They put Gone in the high scores as well, so that must have been a comic book series they liked. That has to refer to Gone the Dinosaur. And that's that. I'm gonna pass things off to Lord BBH now, and he is going to be doing his best on Bubble Symphony, the sequel to Bubble Bobble, the sequel to Rainbow Islands. Wish him luck, and thank you for having me. I'm live every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I will see you guys next Friday if you feel like giving me a follow. Goodbye with a Y, everyone. I'll see you next marathon.